Hey Kurt, this is Richard Wilson from Mad Shelley Films, and we have a message for you.
This is Mad Shelley Films, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto Radio.
Tommy Buoy, tell us about Pelican Hill.
So remind me, what was it like?
Pauly Shöres asked me what my favorite green room that we've been in was, and I said Pelican Hill. So there was Pelican Hill is a 5-star resort golf club we played at.
I remember the golf club.
And it's kind of San Diego, right? Or on the way to San Diego from LA.
We were surrounded by all that water. Remember that? Just how majestic that was?
And the green room was a huge room with a big panoramic window of the water. And then there was one table, a huge round table that we all sat at in the middle of the room. But it was like a huge room with one table in the middle. But then the spread was amazing. They had like all the tiny Coke bottles, and they had all the food. The pasta was actually like really good. And,
I'm tiny.
That was my favorite.
I asked you that because I totally forgot about that one.
That one was good.
Tiny Coke bottles.
Probably my favorite. My favorite was the green room at the. When we stayed in the bungalows for Cordoval, they had us in this on the golf course in the resort, and it was this beautiful house that they had us in. We got to stay there the whole time, but it wasn't really our green room before we played. It was just where we were staying for the 2 nights we were there. It was beautiful. Where are we back? Okay, you're back. I'm done with my story.
Did you like that green room a lot?
Well, yeah, I remember it. I just talked about Cordoval. I just talked about where we.
What did you like most about it?
It wasn't really our green room, Cordoval. I'm talking about Cordoval when we were in.
You weren't talking about your favorite green room.
No.
What was your favorite green room experience so far with Yächtley Crëw, Robin?
Yächtley Crëw, because we've never been to all the ones you've been to with you.
I guess the cave. I don't know. The cave.
Oh, the cave.
Cave green room.
Because we got the little trailer out there.
Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah,
the
the
double
trailer.
wide.
Kind of fun.
Do you like the nachos? Do you like the book of nachos? The bowl of nachos the most?
Yes.
bowl of nachos.
They usually give us a bowl of nachos in it.
I don't remember the bowl of nachos, actually. I'm locked out of the green room now.
Yeah.
Now I'm locked out.
Sorry, you're locked
Now
out.
I'm locked out.
Everybody's going upstairs. Is there food up there?
I don't know.
No, we're going to go somewhere to eat, though. Did you lose?
We're not going to eat here.
Up there?
We're going upstairs.
We're not finished yet anymore.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Town. We'll talk to you guys more later. We're here with Craig Spivek. Once again, the man, the myth, the legend. We are going to go into Unusual Tuesdays tonight. Now, my hope is I have on flash drive in my pocket the latest opus, the latest creation that I made. It's 5 minutes and 8 seconds. 5 being the number of synchronicity, 8 being the number of infinity. I'm going to talk to Noel tonight, see if we can get that up there, because I think it's going to be this movie that I created. It's a Christmas movie, and I would like to get this in. It's perfect time. It's the holiday. 'Tis the season, as one might say. So Craig just got done doing an open mic at, what is it called, the Fourth Wall?
I was at Fourth Wall, North Hollywood at Burbank Boulevard, and I don't remember the damn address, but...
So, and this is a place you've been going to often?
Yeah, I go there about 2 or 3 times a week, do my open mics there. I also go to HaHa, do my open mics there, try to get tight.
Oh, you do go to HaHa still?
I go to HaHa. I was just at HaHa.
Johnny, my sister was just asking about that.
Yeah, no, I was there Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I went to their Christmas party, which was last Tuesday.
What was that like? Were there any Santa Clauses?
It was packed. It was booming, and it's a weird scene at the HaHa because you never know who's showing up. And there's two classes of people that are there. There's the open micers, and then there's the regulars, you know?
Yeah.
And so
regulars is in people who go in there to watch?
Regulars, like people, the guys, mainly men who are regulars on the comedy scene, who are headliners, who are touring.
Oh, that's what you mean.
You know, popular guys, you know.
That's what you mean by regulars. Not like regulars who just hang out at the bar. Not like in the terms of like, it's
there
regulars.
Those too, but no, those are, you would classify those. Yeah, you would classify those more at open micer status, you know.
Uh-huh.
Everyone in there.
You're saying regulars, like people that you see around. Like Jamie Kennedy was there one time.
He's there a lot.
You were there. You were there one night, and he was there.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there a lot?
He's there a lot, yeah.
Wow.
He gets all his material because it's easier to get stage time there. It's much,
Why not? You know, that's the best thing. Why not?
Times easier to get a 15-minute set at HaHa than it is at the Comedy Store. Are you kidding? That's why he's there.
Isn't that interesting? So here we have some comedians who are aspiring to be at the Comedy Store in these big stages. Yet you got the big guys who are aspiring to just get any sort of stage time whatsoever.
They all slum it at the HaHa.
It's funny. Nobody hear this kind of thing.
Nobody knows that. Nobody wants to admit it. But everyone does their slum time.
But why do they call it slumming it? Why not experimentation?
Because I would. Well, I'm being. Yeah.
To me, it sounds like experimentation.
Because it's not over the hill.
Free form, like
not, over the hill. The Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Improv. These are all,
people frown on the Valley things, or what?
Absolutely.
Why?
I don't know.
I've always wondered about that.
Of the Valley. I wondered about it too.
Because I would always hear these jokes like 818 and making fun of the Valley, but I could never. I never understood why. Not being a native. You're a native, so why do you think?
I think there's always been a definitive dividing line between Valley and City, and I don't know why that was or is. The Comedy Store is the original, so maybe that has to do with it, and that's in deep Hollywood, and obviously the Improv and Laugh Factory came.
I think they talk about the HaHa and Swingers actually. John Favreau brings it up.
Probably mention it,
except he calls it the HaHa
hole. He probably says the HaHa hole or something. The chuckle
yeah,
hole,
he uses a different, but he says aha.
I think he was lampooning. I think they were making up a name at the time, but they didn't mean to actually run into an actual place. I think that's what it was. But I
know he's a comedian in the movie.
He is. He's a failed actor, failed comedian, and it's brutal and it's hysterical, and he's brilliant at it. But yeah, there's plenty of legitimacy to the HaHa. I don't know why it gets a bad rap, and I wish it wouldn't. It's just they run things differently there than.
Do you think they pay Jamie Kennedy to perform there, or no?
I don't think they pay anybody. Maybe they give you $20, $25. If you're a big headliner guy and you're on their schedule for the Friday or Saturday night show, you get $20. That's it.
So
we're talking about national headliners. You know what I mean?
If these guys paid big money for people to be there, would it be considered less of slumming it?
Probably. Yeah, because they would put more into their marketing. They'd put more into their merch. They'd probably redo the architecture. They would class the joint up. They know they can't. They know they don't want it. They don't have to. They're making money hand over fist without that. Why would you? Why would you? But yeah, the Christmas party was that. It was a lot of the guys that have been there for years and years, and then you see them at the Christmas party, and there wasn't a whole lot of open micers there. I saw a handful of guys that I open mic with, and that was about it.
So the Christmas party was an open mic?
No, there was no open mic going on at all. They did a bingo, and they did a giveaway and a raffle, and it was very schmoozy. It was fun. It was interesting seeing people. I schmoozed. That part of it was fun. There was no shows or anything. It was just zany stuff. So. But it's like I could
zany stuff.
Zany stuff. Yeah.
Like what are some zany things?
Look out for the clown car coming through. It's a comedy play. Better do that. Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of doodling. Like for artists, it's doodling, and this is just like for comedians, this is just zany.
They're just random zaniness breaking out anywhere and everywhere because it's a comedy club.
So what if the mission?
Look out for that rubber chicken.
What if the mission for the comedy was for it to be zany? Then there's no distinguishing mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like if the artist embraced doodling.
The irony is like comics and the vibe there is so miserable. It's like actual zaniness and warmth. I think would be just you'd be cast out. Stop trying to bring joy into this domicile. It's all
domicile.
All of those fucking places are like.
How funny is that?
Built
what
around
a funny
misery.
oxymoron. Here are the comedians saying, "Don't bring joy in them."
Dude, everyone's laughing and having a good time, but you can't. You like where we're going tonight with the sun space stuff. There's a warmth there. It's a different vibe. It's like a hippie vibe and a warmth vibe and all that stuff. Don't even think about bringing that to high. You get fucking killed. You get clobbered.
We're getting Tecates.
I'll do it together.
All right.
I think I want some.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Craig Spivek. He's got his finger on the pulse of comedy on the comedy circuit. You like the Charles Bukowski of comedy.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Go fuck yourself.
We got the Charles Bukowski. There it is. There it is.
I wish I were that. Jeez, I wish I were that guy.
Isn't that funny though? If you think about it, like that was his poetry. And I'm putting that in quotes. Well, but it's like he did that unapologetically, and then he somehow ended up becoming who he was, but by just doing what he was doing. It's just incredible.
No, he was just expressing what was inside.
Yeah.
And he did that for 50, 60 years.
So think about this, man. These moments that we're hanging out, this is like the recordings that you hear of, like Ginsberg and Kerouac talking, and all that kind of kick-ass stuff going on with those guys. No, I don't think I'm gonna get anything. Pineapple-filled cream cakes. There's so many interesting things in the aisles.
And it all comes out like...
Hi. I'm going to take care of these. And do you think it would be a good idea for us to get a couple of fireball shots? Can we have a couple of those fireball shots, too?
Why not do...
One for each of us, please.
You want the money?
Oh, no, I'm going to take care of this. You took me into it. All right.
Much like Bukowski, I'm taking advantage of your good nature to get drunk.
Dude. Here we go. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, can we have a bag? Yeah. We're trying to do our best to appear like gentlemen.
We're gentlemen.
Dig it. We are certainly on a quest.
Why you don't take this one?
Thank you. You take care. So, what are some of your favorite stages that you want to perform?
Oh, I would love to perform.
Let's just dream. Let's dream big. What are they?
I would love to do the Comedy Store, of course, and the Improv. The Improv main stage, Comedy Store main stage. I would do the Comedy Store OR, the original. That'd be great. And
OR. I love it. OR is like OG.
OR, baby. That is the dream. That's about it. I mean, those are...
That's it?
Well, yeah, I've done everything else.
Wait, okay, so you're telling me you've done Madison Square Garden?
I would do...
You've done Carnegie Hall?
About it. Would I do Stadium? Carnegie.
Done Soldier
because
Field?
Kaufman did Carnegie. I would want to do Carnegie. I would want to do Carnegie.
Absolutely Carnegie.
And because of LA, I would love to do the Wiltern, the Palladium.
So many good places.
Wouldn't that be amazing if I could pack the Palladium?
Yes!
Holy crap, that'd be great.
El Rey.
I'd do the El Rey.
So many places.
I don't think I would want to do Stadium. I don't know if
Kodak Theater.
I would do
also the place that...
that's
what about the place that used to be Nokia Theater? What's that? Microsoft.
Yeah, I've been there for shows. It's
Huge.
It's a little too huge. I don't know if that's good.
You wouldn't want to get paid all that kind of money, though, to perform there.
I don't need money. Money is for homo.
That's just way too much money for that amount of seats.
Don't insult me, sir. With this talk of coinage.
This talk of coinage? How dare you?
So cheap in the moment.
I've spilled my yen again.
Just place the bag of ones in the back seat of the car. Leave quietly. I don't know. Yeah, the whole...
This audiobook brought to you by Craig Spivek and Kurt Clendenin. We're going to sit on our favorite bench out here in front of Sunspace before we freeze our balls off.
Do you want to talk to him first? Or what do you want?
Oh. Should we? Yeah. We should probably talk to him first. Yeah. Folks, we're going to take you with us. We're going to take you with us.
And also the things that sleep. Like things that mean or already.
Hey. So, I have a 5-minute short film. Would I be able to play it tonight?
Sure, yeah.
And if not, then no big deal. But I was thinking if we could just test the sound. If so, then we should probably test the sound just to make sure that it's not gonna.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
I'll talk about it.
Parking is actually pretty
Hey. very rarely here on Inspirado Projecto do we talk about the fear that happens while creating things, or that moment after you've spent all that time creating something, and then all of a sudden, bam, you send it out there into the universe, and now there it is. And there's nothing more after that, really, except to either accept the accolades or to, who knows what happens next. So Craig and I are talking about this at outside in the back of Sunland Sunspace. So tell me, Craig, what is this crazy fear that comes over you? Like, for you to best describe it. For instance, you were just saying when you publish your books, what happens?
Oh, great. Well, I was just trying to describe to you the sensation when I would upload something to YouTube or Facebook or also Kindle, because I've released books. There would be a grace period where like, oh, it's so cathartic. I just, you hit the send button, you hit the export button, you hit the upload button, whatever that is, and you feel great. And you walk away from the computer and you get something to eat and you're chilling out and you're taking a nap and you're meditating, whatever. And then like 2 hours go by and you wake up in a fucking cold panic. You're like, what did I just do? Oh my fucking God. Am I crazy?
What was the main, why did you feel, what were some of the elements behind why you felt a little out of whack?
There's no elements to it. There's no logic to it, because you have to understand, you've just sort of released this giant package of you to the universe. Right. So you in the initial moment, right, that rocket ship is taking off. You're like, fuck this.
You spend X amount of...
We're a rocket ship. We're going to fucking Mars. We're doing this, bitch. Here we are. Check this out. Look at that fucking rocket. We're fucking making the atmosphere. We made it out of the atmosphere. We're in stage 2. We're headed to Mars.
So you spend a week, you spend a month, you spent years upon creating this thing, and bam, there it is.
Done it. Good. So then there's that lax period where you realize, all right, I've made trajectory. I've
made trajectory.
I've made trajectory. Yeah. I'm out of the atmosphere.
We're out there now.
The
orbiting.
algorithms are working. The algebra's all there.
All the algebra.
Everything's fucking tasty and sweet and all that. And you get to take off your fucking astronaut uniform or whatever. And you just chill. You get to shit into a bag.
You get to float around naked.
Floating around, dude. Fucking jerk off into a bag.
Dude,
you fucking made it. And then you sleep for a little bit. You have that sort of relaxing moment.
Like, I just created this thing. There it is.
Whatever it is, and then you catch up to yourself in some way, and there's just this sort of backlash or rebound where you're just like, oh my God, what did I, I mean,
what are some of the main points that you feel once you, like, in those moments? Is
it
like, oh gosh, I could have added this, or I could have added that, or I should have used different music, or what is
everything? Yes, and to all of that. You know what I mean? If it was a music piece or something, I'd be like, I forgot to do that chorus, or I didn't record it well. If it was a piece of, if it was a book that I wrote or a chapter, I forgot to write this chapter. I forgot to write this thing. Oh my God, I forgot to edit this part out. All that stuff. Oh my God, what did I? It comes in. If it was a video, I was like, oh, I should have cut that part to make it work better. Blah blah blah. All that, whatever that doubt percentage, it comes just in sheep's clothing and just grabs at you and just destroys you. And it's just,
so once that swoops in, I mean, how long do you usually find? I mean, is there kind of have you found yourself with like stereotypically some sort of grace period within that time where you're like, okay, you're dealing with that and then you get past it?
You get past it somehow. You know what I mean?
How long do you allow for yourself to deal with that sort of torture?
Well, if you're new to it, it went for hours. You know what I mean? So, 20 years ago, when something like that would occur, and I would release something into the ether, there would be that pleasant grace period, and then there would be a panic for an hour, 2 hours, 2 hours straight. Can you imagine being in a panic for 2 hours straight? That's what it was, because you felt vulnerable, you felt violated, you felt ashamed. You didn't really have.
Well, like what? Like, is it ashamed from like? So, are you imagining like from the perspective of some outside creature, some outside perspective, some outside critic?
Yes, absolutely.
Who is the evil? Who's the evil ether that you're imagining?
I don't know. I will call it the collective unconscious, as Jung described.
All of your like the worst enemies just going, you did it wrong. You did it wrong. That was wrong.
I think it's all of the worst fears that you can think of amalgamated into a first person that's just nothing but self-doubt.
Oh my God, dude.
And it's horrible, and it's a lie. That's my point. I'm trying to tell you it's a lie.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
that is just
it's
so
all
good
a
to
lie.
hear. It's all a lie, ladies and gentlemen. That's the takeaway here. It's all a lie. Don't let yourself believe it. I think we have some things going on inside here. How are you doing with that?
Yeah, I'll finish this. Don't worry about me. I'll go on without me. I gotta pee, dude. It's gonna be like a 3-minute pee.
So sweet.
That's how you say, oh my darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am
The zipper mouth prince. Once there was an ungrateful boy who demanded things like sweets and toys. His mother, the queen, gave him what he asked to avoid all tantrums and aftermaths. The ungrateful boy, he had a name, Prince Zach was it, and he could blame the sun, the stars, his mom, his dad, for all the things he wished he had. But truth is, he had everything. Toys that beeped and bopped and zinged, he even wore a diamond ring. He was a prince, a demanding one too, until one day the king said, "That's enough, I am through." Our son, he blames the seas, the star. I want them to shut up. Is that bad? Is that me being unusual Tuesdays? Just between the music and the words, I'm okay. That's cool. He was a prince, demanding one too, until one day the king said, "That's enough, I am through." Our son, he blames the seas, the stars. He blames the horses, he blames my cigars. I'll teach him a lesson if he keeps on complaining. He's spoiled and rotten, it's incredibly draining. The queen simply smiled and nodded her head, then left to tuck Zachy up in his bed. The next day was just like all the others. Zach was rude to his father, not so nice to his mother. He wanted the latest, the newest, the brightest. His sheets were the softest and always the whitest. And when that wouldn't do, when it wasn't enough, his mom would just give him more and more stuff. One year for his birthday, Zach was given a boat. He never rode it, it stayed in the moat. After a week, he said, "Nah, it's no fun. I want a newer, better one." And more his mom would bring him toys that bopped and whirred and zinged, candy, chocolates, bubble gum, but nothing ever pleased her son. So she bought Prince Zach a giant slide, an air balloon for private rides, a clown for juggling, new trees for climbing, and one sad chap who was supposed to be miming, which if you don't know, requires precision and timing. If I wasn't holding a mic, I'd mime it. But this didn't please Zach. He wanted more. "I want the sea, I want the shore, I even want the ocean floor, and I deserve it because I'm Prince Zach." The king almost had a heart attack. "The ocean floor?" exclaimed his dad. "This isn't good, it's gotten bad. Our son's growing up, he'll be a teen. Do something, you're his mother, the queen." But the queen, of course, was in total denial. She'd say, "That's our son," with a whimper and smile. So Prince Zach did what he pleased all day and always got his way. Let me stop for a second so I can just get myself figured out what I'm even saying. Soon the days had turned to years. solidifying the king. I don't even know, am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry. Then he can play. I feel like I'm turning into a hag, I'm a bitch. Okay, play, you can play. Okay. So Prince Zach did what he pleased all day and always got his way. Soon the days had turned to years, solidifying the king's worst fears. The king was embarrassed, ashamed of his son. A prince like this should not be the one to lead all the people to inherit the crown. Imagine what people are thinking in town. The queen said, I know it's utterly shaming, but isn't it you now who's continually blaming? The king sunk in his chair. I skipped the part. The king sunk in his chair. I suppose that's true, but I'm at loss of what to do. How do we teach him to be grateful and kind? The king rose from his throne when a thought came to mind. The king's eyes widened. He turned to the queen. Perhaps what I'm thinking is rather extreme. We'll send him far away from here, give him a taste of fright and fear, then search for him after a year or 2 or 3, it all depends, when Zach grows up and this behavior ends. The queen was worried it might not work, but we have to do it because our son's a jerk. So they sent Prince Zach out to the forest, where people were needy and hungry, the poorest. They dropped him off and hoped nature would teach him, because obviously nothing they did could reach him. And as luck would have it, Zach met a witch who liked to sew and craft and stitch. And despite her provisions, meaning a bed and some food, Zach wasn't gracious. In fact, he was rude. What is this? You call this soup? It tastes like eggs and monkey poop. The witch, she smiled. Oh, do you think? She stirred the pot and gave a wink. How was your nap? Did you like your bed? Did you get to rest your weary head? About my bed, Prince Zach suggested. It's rather hard and I'm not well rested. The blanket's rough and much too itchy. I couldn't sleep because I felt too twitchy. Maybe you ought to go into town and buy me a mattress made of down. The witch just listened and shook her head. She reached for the spices and they all turned to thread. I'm not sure, boy, if you know, but I'm a witch who likes to sew. And poof, a frog hopped from the pond. Her ladle turned into a wand. You've been in my hovel not even a week. Perhaps you should think before you speak. You insult my bed, you critique my soup. She grabbed some thread and made a loop, and then with sounds of clips and snips and zips, she put her finger to her lips. Oh, fairest, fairest of these lands, she reached out with her bony hands. I'm not evil, but here's my confession. This prince right here, he needs a lesson. The roof exploded from the shack, and guess what happened to Prince Zach? His mouth, it narrowed, it turned thin, and something happened from within. Slowly stitches formed their way across his lips. He tried to say, help and stop, but it was no use. He couldn't even drink his juice. My, she cackled, how divine. I don't like boys who act out of line, so I sewed upon your ungrateful face 2 stitched up lips with a zipper in place. Prince Zach wanted to scream. He wanted to scold her. If he had lips, he sure would have told her, you're in trouble, you're fired, time for a beheading. And to think it was all about some soup and some bedding. The prince grabbed the blanket and headed out for the hills, ignoring the cold and sleeping through chills. Day after day, his lips didn't stir. They barely could move. He couldn't even say brr. Soon came the snow and the ice and the rain. The prince spoke not a word. He never complained. And over time, he grew stronger, more noble, more quiet. And having zips for your lips is sure quite a diet. But the prince became someone so handsome and sure, it's almost without words. His thoughts became pure. He walked and he hiked, enjoying nature and trees. He swam in the lakes and he traveled the seas. And as opposed to complaining, he spent time admiring. He saw beauty in people, found nature inspiring, and the distance he traveled was really quite tiring. Then one day, resting by a brook, he peeked through trees and caught a look from a beautiful princess, a beautiful girl, her long flowing locks that were perfectly curled, and he watched her drink water and frolic and play, and he wanted to speak in the most incredible way. And with each word of kindness he thought to say, his stitches slowly went away. They popped and pulled, and in one quick zip, he felt a tingle in his lip. His fate would have it, his words came out mumbled, his tongue tripped on his teeth, and it all came out jumbled. He cleared his throat and he tried to speak, but his words came out in a high-pitched squeak. The kind princess smiled and said, "Here, take my hand. You don't have to speak because I understand." And in that brief little moment, the spell was completed. The stitch of the witch and her curse was defeated. The king and queen were truly in awe. Prince Zach had grown so they couldn't believe what they saw. Zach soon ruled the kingdom, a proud, noble king. Not much for jewels or for other fine things. He said, "Get out in nature. Go travel, make art." He was a fair king who ruled with his heart. But mostly, King Zach always thought before speaking to avoid any unwanted zippers or squeaking. Boy, that took a while to focus. Sorry, Craig. Thanks. I appreciate it. I heard it for a second. I hear it. Thank you. I love Unusual Tuesdays. Thank you for letting me share things back.
If I could get this a little bit taller here. So what we want to do tonight is kind of look at some different kinds of dinosaurs that you probably haven't seen. So I'll just briefly share with you a little bit about me. Noel asked me to come here, and I've been doing dinosaur lectures. I guess this is number 13 now. And we do reproduction, feathers, evolution of flight, evolution of armor, weapons, and everybody knows that I'm really kind of into this. Let me see if I can get my thing. All right. So tonight what we want to do is just kind of look at some really cool dinosaurs. Just to briefly tell you, we had a little question last time, and I wanted to just share with you the most beautiful fossil that was found in 1861. That's 1861, a couple of years after Darwin wrote The Origin of Species. The question was, how did birds transition from dinosaurs? Well, they found this dinosaur in Germany in 1861, and I just wanted to share with you what this, since that time, we've known what this looks. This is Archaeopteryx. It's a very famous specimen, and here's the wings and the tail. You can see the head is kind of in the death pose. The neck is curled back around, and that's the beak right there. This is what she looked like when she was flying. Claws and a tail and teeth. That's what we call a dinosaur. So this is a bird, it's called a proto-bird, kind of a dinosaur transitioning into a bird. And we've known this for 160 years. So this is not controversial or unknown. We've known this for a long time. So I wanted to just share those fossils with you. Let's look at some really wonderful fossils that you probably haven't seen from the kind of the skeleton standpoint. I just wanted to share, this is the stegosaur family, so everybody knows what a stegosaur is. These are the ones with the big plates. But this is Tuogingosaurus, and she is just a wonderful specimen here, and I just wanted to share with you. These are herbivores that are very early in the game, so she's Jurassic probably, somewhere around 160 million years old. So that's a very early dinosaur. They died out quite a bit. These were replaced by the ceratopsians. So this is the Triceratops everybody's familiar with, but this is called a Chasmosaurus. It's the late Cretaceous. That's right before the asteroid hit. And I just wanted to share with you. Everybody just be aware they have the same pattern you do, and dolphins and turtles. They have one humerus, two forearm bones, many in the wrist, and then 5 fingers. So this 1, 2, many, 5 pattern repeats all the time. And I just want to say you folks are related to this. So these weapons, I always share with you what the weapons are for the thing. These are two very, very common herbivores that we look at. One's called a nodosaur here, and this is called the ankylosaur, with an extremely dangerous club tail. This is very interesting arrangement. And I'm going to show you why would they be evolving these big shoulder spines? Because they're Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I just thought I had a theory. Because if a carnivore was to try to attack, I imagine they'd go for the neck.
Yep. And that shoulder spine, all you got to do is turn that shoulder spine to whatever's bothering you, and you can't get through the shoulder spine. So these are very effective weapons. These guys hang out on the planet when they show up. That body plan stays there for a long time, maybe 100 million years. So once they developed it, they stayed around for a long time. Yes, ma'am?
What material is the club tail made of?
Bone. This is all bone. So this is another one. This is kind of half and half. Here's the skeleton, and here's what it looked like on the outside. And it's got a really serious tail here. So this is not lunch. This is not lunch. You don't want to mess with her.
It's not lunch.
You couldn't bite through it. You don't want to attack it. She gets down low, and she'll just run over you like a bowling ball. So anyway, this is another one called Gastonia. But this, again, is a very, very, very difficult animal to penetrate. Once they show up, these guys stay around for a long time. Very successful herbivore. And why would you want to develop those shoulder spines? Okay, here is Allosaurus, and this is what you're trying to protect against. And I just want to share those with you. Y'all meet your ancestors here. These are proto-mammals called mammal-like reptiles or synapsids. So that's your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. I love sauropods, so everybody should know that I like the big ones, and I've been just back from Montana in July, and I'm going to show you some really cool ones. But I want to talk about sauropods. All sauropods they look very defenseless and like they're lunch. They're not lunch. This tail moves supersonic speeds, 740 miles an hour. And when she whips it, she can just snap your neck off. So don't bother her. All of the sauropods have this thumb claw here. This is extremely effective. Once it shows up, it just gets bigger and longer and more dangerous. And all of the sauropods have it. Here's a beautiful sauropod, diplodocid. She has the thumb claw as well, and that's a beautiful specimen. I like this one. I went to Montana to work on this one this summer called Suwasei. This is early thunder in the Crow Nation language. This animal is the skeleton. We have the tail. We found actually 2 of them. And I took this picture about 4 months ago. I actually moved a lot of the dirt off this tail about 4 months ago to expose it. This has now been all dug up, put in plaster jackets, and it's back at the museum in Philadelphia. I also worked on a diplodocid called Diplodocus. This is the specimen, about 175 feet long. It's a huge, huge specimen. Yes, Jalen?
Is that what Diplo is named after?
Yes.
No, I don't know. So this is a very special animal. Once the sauropods show up on the planet, they stay for the whole 160 million years, so they're very successful. I worked on the shoulder, the neck. I found the neck, and I found a rib bone. And this is the actual neck vertebrae of the Diplodocus dinosaur sitting on top of a rib, diving underneath it. That's my ruler, and I took that picture. And I uncovered this bone. Thank you so much for your time.
It is 11:21 a.m. It's December 18th. I'm heading on up to a school to substitute teach improv for my buddy Darin Toonder. You guys have been with me on these journeys before. In fact, it was on one of these journeys that we came across in an Uber. We did an interview. I think it was on the way back from one of these places. Came across an actress by the name of Anna Marte. Anamarte. Curly-haired gal, very curly, and makes her own content. Puts it on Instagram, I'm sure also on YouTube. And she happened to be in the Uber vehicle with me, and I interviewed her. And it's interesting because I think it was around the time of Kapow, actually, that I was walking around and I happened to be podcasting, and then all of a sudden, there she is standing outside of a bar. And if I'm remembering correctly, I believe, I was in the middle of podcasting, and then I think you can hear me say, "Oh my gosh, Anna Marta, I interviewed you. I met you in an Uber." And then she remembered. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty crazy. So we're heading on up. Someplace in Glendale, I believe. One of the schools that Darin Toonder teaches at. He's a friend of mine from back at Columbia College. And I don't know if you guys heard me mention this yet or not, but I've been reading that big book called Ensemble. It's all about Chicago theater. It's all about the Compass Players, Second City, improvisation as we know it. And it's all about that ensemble spirit, which is what it is all about. Those of you who listen to this show know how much I talk about that, how much I favor it, how much I appreciate it. Heck, if you've been along this long, you've probably heard a lot of stories recycled, haven't you? You've probably heard a lot of recycled stories. The main topics, basically, of this program, of this varietal program, the main subjects of this is cooperation, reciprocation, collaboration. All of the base elements that were taught in Sesame Street, the base elements that were taught in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Heck, let's throw Bob Ross in there too. Bob Ross taught us about improvisation. He taught us to make something with what we've got, even if it seems like it's a mistake. Even if it on the outset it just does not look the way that we intended it to or expected it to, there's always something that can be done with it. It doesn't have to be scrapped. You can mold it, sculpt it, shape it into something. Everything is shapeable. There's always the possibility of shaping things. So when we have that in mind and we approach art projects that way, or heck, any sort of relationships too. Any relationship to something, anything, anybody, they're sculptable, they're malleable. And when there's that intention for each end or each side or what have you, each piece of the puzzle, when they notice that they are each, connectors to the puzzle, and there's a desire to make that agreement, to make that cooperation, the idea that there's enough room for everybody. There's enough room for everybody to be who they want to be. And when you got it, when you're in the groove, when you got it, you got it. When you're in the groove, you can move. You can hear the music so much brighter. You can hear the music so much brighter when you're in the groove. Does that sound nice? Think about the record player. Think about that vinyl. Take a look at a vinyl. I've always wondered when I'm looking at that vinyl, it still mystifies me that we can hear any kind of music, that somehow we can capture that and then replay it. And then on top of that, when you think about that and cutting these little tiny little waves, into this plastic thing, which then has all these little vibrations, then you got to have a little needle that moves along and reads it. And it listens to it. And that's pretty intriguing to me. Now, the only way that you can really hear what's going on with that record is if that needle is right there in the groove. You can't have a broken needle, and you can't have a broken groove. Because if either one of those things is out of whack, you're not going to get a clear, crispy signal. Oh my God, I'm walking past a bus right now. Oh, I thought that was Mr. Bill. Wait, is it Mr. Bill? There's a snowman on the side of it who looks just like Mr. Bill. Wow, incredible. Do you guys remember that? Saturday Night Live? There's the character Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill! So, when you got that needle in the groove, and that record is spinning, and that megaphone thing is sending it out. That's the thing. That's the deal right there. That's the crisp, clean signal. And you can feel that when you got positive relationships. You got that when you're really tuned into creating what you're creating. That's such a sweet sound. It's a raw, just such a good one. So, those are the elements that they're talking about in this book, Ensemble. Everybody working together. And that is what my buddy Darin is teaching these kids through improv games. These kids, I've seen the evolution of some of these kids. They have gone from timid to yo quiero tu manzanas I want the apples. It's funny, there's this guy who's out here who's always asking for change, and yet he wears it looks like he's wearing designer clothes, and he's asking people for money. So usually when I walk past him, I either speak gibberish or the limited amount of Spanish that I know. Luckily, he doesn't speak. The guy, I don't know if he speaks Spanish, but he doesn't look like someone that you would normally associate with someone who might speak Spanish. Now looking at a green Lamborghini. Isn't this interesting? You live out in California, you see this kind of stuff. It's just here. This stuff becomes plentiful when you live out in California. You could just be driving down the freeway and all of a sudden there's a Lamborghini. Bam, there it is. To have a car like that can go that fast, one would think that it's kind of a tease to drive around a town that has so much stop and go. And you got that puppy just revving all day. revving all day, going from stoplight to stoplight, moving 30 miles an hour or less. Where can you really open up the throttle? I'm sure there are websites out there for that. If you got a Lamborghini, you got a fast car, there's got to be forums, there's got to be something out there where they go, hey, check it out. This stretch of land is a perfect stretch of land for those of you who want to really put the pedal to the metal, as one would say. Because how good would that feel to really open it up? I mean, really let it run. What a blast. What a blast. What a great feeling that would be. I've just now noticed my monitor. Just monitored my what do you call it? Posture. And noticed that I was hunching. This is not a good sign. This is a sign that I need to... Come on. Straight up here. Come on. Good posture. We don't want to look like we're 70 years old. All right. We'll talk to you guys more later. There's precious seconds here before I go down into the subway. So, we'll talk to you more later. Take care.
Inspirado Projecto Radio, happy Thanksgiving from Man Behind the Machine.
Thank you, Man Behind the Machine, for that wonderful Thanksgiving sentiment. And this sentiment goes out to every single one of y'all out there in the world. Thought I'd break up this little episode quickly here for a brief moment. I'm going to play for you here a song that I created a long time ago called I Am Thankful, and I figured this is a pretty good episode. I know I did a couple of Thanksgiving episodes that were closer to when Thanksgiving came out. Now, of course, as you can tell, this message was from quite some time ago. I've been spacing them out throughout the episodes. So what I'm going to play for you guys this episode right now, and then we're going to get back to the Sunspace stuff with some more dinosaur activity. Here we go with a song called I Am Thankful. So get a load of this. The time has now arrived, yet once again, for us, my dearest friends, we're gathered here to share the wisdom we've culminated through the year. I am thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural. The fact that you're alive is quite a miracle when you think about what you went through to be here now, and all the lives you've touched along the years. It's amazing to know what you do when you don't know. I am thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural. Thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural. Wowzers. Now, wasn't that a phenomenal intro from Mad Shelley Films? From that whole production team, Robert T. Wilson and the gang. Holy moly, his band of misfits, extraterrestrials, pirates, thespians, channelers, witches, warlocks, writers, cauldron stirrers, you name it, he's got it. Fortune tellers. Just an amazing tribe with an amazing, talented cast. They are in the what started as Halloween Girl and continued into Under the Flowers. It just keeps growing and growing. It just keeps getting better and better. And he keeps in. We screen each new episode at Kapow each year. They're just so good. You should check out the editing. They're so good. Find them on Instagram, Mad Shelley, MADSHELLEY. You can also look up Under the Flowers, and it's kind of a horror thing. It's kind of a horror experience. It's a very supernatural experience, and it's very convoluted. There's a lot of information in there. So what's great is that, just like with Big Lebowski, you go back and you rewatch it, and you keep seeing more and more nuggets. So he's got an amazing concoction. So check out his stuff. Also coming up on 12/21/2019. 12/21/2019. And what happens when you add 9 + 1 + 2? What do you get? 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12/21/12. Interesting. When you think about that. Isn't that interesting? That's when my new and world's first only Christmas. This is my first Christmas movie I've ever made. This is the world's first Christmas detective thriller cinema for Instagram TV. This is the world's first Christmas thriller detective Christmas detective thriller sci-fi. You could say sci-fi. Yeah. And semi-biographical. Let's throw that in the mix. They're telling us to put turmeric on stuff. Well, let's just, there we go. It's my equivalent of turmeric. Sprinkle that spice on there. So, it's called Santanatas. A Christmas movie. Santanatas. It will be on 12/21/2019. Appearing on Instagram TV. Check it out. Keep your eyes open. Find me. It's on the Inspirado Projecto Instagram. By the way, if you want to participate in this program, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Ships ahoy. Submit your audio. You can call. We got the Inspirado Projecto hotline. It's 561-203-9179. 561-203-9179. Leave a message on the voicemail. I will include it in the episodes. You can also call. That's probably best just if you're just going to call. If you're just going to call in. I'm not going to tell you what to do. However, but in addition to that, if you want, you can email inspiratoprojecto@gmail.com. I would say up to about 4 minutes of audio. Send it in. Make it experimental. I play field recordings. You got children laughing. It's your kid's birthday. Promote. Use it. I like to use it to promote stuff. So if you got music, if you got spoken word, whatever you got, man, whatever you got, send me the audio. You've heard Man Behind the Machine on here. You've heard Maria Humphreys. You've heard all kinds of interesting sound bites. Henry D. Horace with fun facts. I mean, there's all kinds of great stuff that comes through the pipeline here, folks. So Craig Spivek, we've heard his contributions. We've heard Nick Nolte. We've heard Gary Busey. We've heard Mickey Dolenz. We've heard so many people. Rob Brodsky from Twin Peaks. Jay Asang from Twin Peaks. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on and on. And Stu Strauss from Twin Peaks. And the list just keeps going. And Blythe Baines, the musician, it just keeps going on and on. It just keeps going on, man. All these wonderful folks contributing their audio to the madness, which is known as Inspirado Projecto. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for contributing. And, keep your eyes out for Santanatas, the Christmas movie. Santanatas. Santanatas. You will find it. There's some trailers up on. I had a screening at Sunland Sunspace the other night, which I loved. I loved on that Unusual Tuesday. Actually, in the same night that you just heard this stuff. I had it. Turned out really well. Anyway, keep the Inspirado flowing. Sayonara. Here is my postscript, my PS, if you will. Thank you so much, Craig Spivek. Thank you, Abby Shachner. Thank you so much, Tommy Buoy and Pauly Shöres and Robin Ryder, all of you guys from Yächtley Crëw. Thank you, everybody who has ever contributed to this show. Thank you so much, Pauly Shöres, who is most likely listening right now, or even John Garside, who's listening right now, or even Josh Clendenin, who's listening right now. I mean, any number of wonderful people out there who's tuned in. Let me know who you are. You know what? This will be like Romper Room. You get back to me. Email me, inspiratoprojecto@gmail.com, and let me know that you're watching the show, and I will include your name in here. How about that? That sounds cool. That sounds fun. All right. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and keep that Inspirado flowing. This is a post PSS or P. No, that'd be postscript, or no, or is it PSS post? No, that'd be postscript. I guess it is PPS postscript. Postscript. Oh my gosh! If you could only smell what it smells like out here. It's so fresh and so clean. Yes, it seems like it's getting cold out here in California, but I mean, this is compared to other places. We're not comparing anything to anyone. Anyway, the main point is this is a postscript script. I meant to say in that PS to keep your eyes out, keep your ears out for Santanatas, the world's first Christmas thriller detective indie cinema. It will be on IGTV. And you can find the trailers right now on Inspirado Projecto. That is on Instagram. Oh, by the way, I found my files for Kapow when we interviewed those guys during Kapow. So I'll be getting those up on the Podcast. As for now, if you want to hear the what happened with Blythe Baines, our wonderful interview with Blythe Baines and Carter Soso, you can go to mixcloud.com/Inspirado Projecto, and you can hear our K-Chung episode from December 16th. Yeah, December 16th. So keep your ears out for that. See, that guy knows all about it. All right. We'll talk to you later, for real this time. You keep that Inspirado flowing. Owen.